Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Good morning, Chloe.
Hello.
Do you recognise this?
Oh, do I?
It's from The Private Life of Pets.
Yes,
And it's actually called Meet the Pets, that particular track.
Here I am.
Yeah. You should come on stage to that. Be great music to walk on to.
How many people do you think would get that, Frank?
4?
Four? Well, that makes it worth it then, doesn't it?
Lifetime or
Yeah.
per show?
I do stuff that 4 people don't get in an audience. 4 I regard as a sort of borderline hit. So, where we are, it's week, what is it, 19 of the Edinburgh Festival?
So tiring.
They said it would be over by Christmas.
No, that was World War One.
Oh.
You fool. No, it's still tremendous. I'm still seeing shows. I'm liking it. But my family came up this week and I remembered what was back home, and that was bad.
Yeah.
You're supposed to forget about that and think you're some solitary figure who's never really got close to anyone when you're up here.
What do you think is like the peak time that the Edinburgh Fringe should be?
Depends who you are, I think. I think if you don't have family back home, I think it could just be all the year round.
Yeah, there's also a part of me that's like, we should all come up, do 5 minutes and then go home. Our whole year should be judged on whether we can do a tight 5. Off we pop.
Well, I've never
London.
done a tight 5 in my life.
Have you not?
No, I can't do a tight 5. I try, and I do a tight 8.
It's barely enough time to introduce yourself, really.
I've seen American comics, and I've been on shows, and the producers come on and said, actually, we're running a bit tight, so I know you're booked for 10, but could you do about 8.5? And I've thought, oh, well, what's the difference? And I've seen American comics go on and do 8.5. They are so professional. And, of course, when I say professional, I mean rubbish. Which is how I use. Because if you can do that, you have no soul. Is my theory.
And if you come off stage having just done a gig, the last thing you want is for someone to go, gosh, that was professional.
Yeah, gosh, that was exactly the right
you ran to time.
Yeah, I want my response mainly from the audience, not from a timekeeper.
Yeah, from an umpire.
Yeah, that's no good. So, but I'm still. I'll tell you what I did this week. I went out for a bubble tea.
Oh, Frank.
Oh, I love bubble tea.
Do you?
Oh God, yes.
God, well, this feels like a real sort of mixture of the high culture and the low. I'm not going to say which way round I think you and bubble tea are in terms of high and low culture.
Okay.
I can't imagine you with those bubbles in your mouth.
Well, I don't think of them as bubbles. I think of them as space dumplings. There's something about the texture of them which I think is pretty unique.
Yes.
And just the feeling of them in rows coming up the straw.
Oh, like sort of peas in a moving pot.
Oh, man.
There's so many of them as well. They don't skimp on the bubbles, do they?
No, that's good, though. I tell you what was very annoying. I went to a place, a cafe. They're all over Edinburgh. They're called Black Sheep Coffee, I think they're called.
Yeah.
And they put ice, a lot of ice in the bubble tea. And then there are pockets in the ice where there are space dumplings trapped that you can't. I felt like a shepherd on a rocky hillside who couldn't get some of his sheep because they'd gone onto ledges which I couldn't reach.
I love this for you, though. I didn't have you down. It's almost like the sort of like orange juice with bits for the modern metrosexual man. I'm very impressed with this, Frank.
Well, I think it's less healthy than orange juice with bits. I don't know if the bits should be made by some sort of machine.
Yes, or if they're made of pudding.
I think it's yeah. I think it's a flavour dash texture thrill. The whole thing. More of bubble tea because I had a bubble tea incident.
Oh no!
The best of Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Where was it? Oh, yes, I was having a bubble tea. And,
We have to establish what flavour.
well, they're a bit limited in Black Sheep coffee. I normally when I go to my dentist, across the road there is a Bubbleology.
Yes.
And in Bubbleology,
Two choices you have
can
there.
really go to town. I
Yes.
find if you go strawberry and passion fruit, you can create a sunset in a plastic cup.
Well, it's a sort of a sunset blotted out by hundreds of alien craft.
Well, exactly. If you can imagine that happening.
Yeah.
Frank,
Exactly.
is it like you have one flavour in the main body of liquid and then a second subsidiary flavour within the bubbles?
Well, if you are gentle with your straw work,
Yes. And
you
I am.
can maintain the separation between your two components, which I love.
If you don't pierce.
Well, if you're one of these people who goes in like some people, they're roughing up the space dumplings with their
Yeah.
straw.
What? So you can sort of disturb the structural integrity of the space dumpling within before it's even hit your mouth?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that.
Well, that's only done by fools. I don't like ice generally, by the way.
No.
I never have ice in drinks, ever. I don't like it. It's just dilution pellets.
Yes. And previously.
Previously on the Frank Skinner Show.
Before shows in Edinburgh, I have to keep emphasising to the sort of venue staff that I'm not asking for a pint of water for pleasure.
No.
I just need
It's lubrication,
I need to
yeah.
hydrate myself.
Yeah, exactly.
The ice is a barrier to that.
Oh, ice on stage, that's a nightmare. Don't mention it ever again. The thing is with ice, because it's one of those things where you know you're being fooled as well. When someone says, here's a big glass of drink, and there's loads of ice in.
And that is what
we're
they say.
supposed to think, yeah, that's what they say to me. In a sort of a, here's a big glass of drink. It's just the trouble with grey
Get
hair.
it down, you pop your napkin down your front.
And it's no, but you know those trick drinks where Benny Hill used to drink a pint of beer and then another pint of beer,
Yeah.
and in fact there's only a bit around the outside,
Oh, yes,
where
yes,
you
yes.
fill it. That's what happens when you put ice in a drink. You're basically giving you a trick glass that's got no liquid in it hardly. Anyway, my family had just arrived, Kath, my partner, and my son Boz, and it was an emotional moment, but I don't know if you've ever had family arrive when you're up here, but you feel like you've been invaded a bit because you've become a solitary outsider figure, or I have, and
Yeah.
suddenly there's like a domestic thing going on. But I'm thinking, no, it's great to see them. And we had a bubble tea. And Boz, I don't know, he got one space dumpling that was a bit of an irregular diameter.
Yeah.
And it got a bit wedged in his straw. So in trying to shift it, he did a sort of a Amazonian tribesman blowpipe. He did one of those, and it couldn't have been better. It hit me in my right eye, and it really hurt. I went down. My elbows touched the table, and it really hurt. And I sort of did a melodramatic, which everyone looked at.
Yeah.
And he was like mortified.
Yeah.
My partner, for some reason, covered her whole face with her hands and seemed to be shaking, I think, with heavy laughter.
Yes.
And what you don't know, listener at home, is that Frank's eye has been dislodged in it now. Is just a space dumpling.
It's a tiny
Well,
little
when
bubble.
I felt the empty casing sliding down my chin, and I thought, is that the space dumpling or my now empty eyeball? With vitreous and aqueous humour sliding down with it. What about that?
Yeah.
Oh, I did like that.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what it did. Because of the sugar in a space dumpling, it literally stuck my contact lens to my eye and I couldn't get it out. It was a fabulous shot. It did all the damage required. But then he started crying because I was upset, and I started crying because there was a space dumpling in my eye, and Kat started crying because she was laughing so much.
Absolute Radio.
The best of Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Follow us on X and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. Email via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk. Will I ever be able to say X without putting it in inverted commas in some way by my tone?
No.
Okay.
Also, they haven't thought of. You can't. I mean, obviously, we can call it X, but what's tweeting? Is it Xing? 'Cause I don't
know.
like the sound of that. If so,
No, Xing sounds like.
sounds like doxing.
I don't know what that means.
They've tried to change it to
Yeah, will you
posting.
explain doxing?
Posting.
Oh, doxing?
Yeah, he doesn't know doxing. Tell him.
Doxing is when you reveal someone's personal information online in
Yes.
a malicious attempt to get nutters to show up at their house.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
That's doxing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That sounds horrible.
I like the
I
very
miss-
meek, frightened way.
Yeah.
You took that, you absorbed that information. Okay.
I miss the simple age of the poison pen letter.
Yes, yeah.
The green ink.
Oh, man.
Remember the green ink, Frank?
Green ink.
Well, that was always a sign.
Oh, yeah, they used to say that was a sign of someone troubled.
Slightly
was writing
unhinged,
to you.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They only sold green ink to people with incredibly sort of vicious personalities.
Well, I do use green ink because
Yes, we
I've
noticed.
I've got one of those 4-colour pens,
Yeah.
of course, and it's a shame not to use the green. Have to tell you, I was. I don't have to tell you, but I'm about to. I was in. What's the name of that place? Is it Smiggles? Is that what it's called?
You'll have to narrow
Anyhow.
down your...
Is it a
Is
stationery?
that what it's called?
Is it
I don't know.
Scribbler?
I turned to the producer, who's just laughing at me inanely.
You've said that place, and that's
Is
all
it
we
a
have to go
No,
on.
it's Smiggle. The Smiggle shop. It's like a sort of Japanese stationery type place.
What?
You get a nice bento box. No?
Not Muji.
Smiggles.
Smiggle, yeah.
Really? Are you sure?
I'm confident. I've got an 8-colour. I'm calling it my octo pen. You know, normally they have 4 colours, the ones that you slide up and down. I've got one with 8 at the Smiggle shop.
Okay,
This is like
strange flex.
This is doing
but-
like a radio show, Dr. Seuss.
No, I mean it. One of the colours, get this, one of the biro
We're
colours
still on this, okay.
on my Smiggle pen is yellow. When am I going to write in yellow to anyone?
Oh, to the mayor of Squigglestown or whatever.
Maybe if I was to complain about the flavour of a lemon drizzle cake and I wanted to make a subliminal message.
Or if you were to accuse someone of cowardice, maybe.
Yes, yes. It'd be
Frank.
good one of those if you haven't got a white feather to hand.
Yeah. Frank, are you sure? And I say this with deep, immense love and respect. Are you sure the store is called Smiggles?
I'm not sure of anything
This is
in the world.
This is like a parliamentary inquiry. Are you
I
sure?
have a pen that has the word Smiggle on it, which I bought from a shop which had several other Smiggle
What
products.
are
Could you produce the pen for the committee, sir?
What are you playing at?
Let me be perfectly clear. Is there or is there not?
Every stinking day. No,
Well, look, I can't
it's
wait
a lovely
to go
pen.
to
It's a
Smiggles.
fat-barreled,
Could you-
8-colour Smiggle pen. That's what I've got.
Oh, I love that Queen song.
Yeah.
Can you, if you could tell me where I would find a Smiggles?
Whoville.
Well, look,
Whoville, where all the Who's live.
I can't. I
You're
don't know
being
why
silly
this is
now.
so unbelievable.
It just sounds...
When I said I hadn't heard of Wilco's the other week, you laughed at me.
We've only got Smiggles round where I live.
Yeah, exactly. But because you haven't heard of Smiggles, that's all right.
Yeah, you buy yellow pens, bento boxes.
Frank, what do they sell other than... It's just the yellow pens and the bento boxes.
No, they've got those kind of, related, station-related
What's related
clips.
to that, sweetheart?
Yes.
Multicoloured clips and erasers and all that. It's a
Okay.
lovely shop. The bento boxes are a work of art.
Was it
They
very
are
peaceful,
fabulous. You know
calming
what they
shop?
are?
Did you feel like you were blissed out and sleeping?
I liked it in there. And
Yeah.
the pen, you know how I got excited about a 4-colour pen? An
Yes.
8-colour pen is, honestly,
Oh,
it's an extravaganza.
try this.
Yeah.
I think you were
twice as good.
hypnotised by Paul McKenna. You're going into Smiggle.
You'll see. There'll be some
a
of our
beautiful store, they
readers.
only
Some
sell
of our
yellow
readers will be Smiggle regulars.
The best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank, without further ado, Pierre
We apologise.
we owe you an apology.
I thought there'd be a man with a bugle pen would turn up. Would turn up. Would turn up. This is Frank Skinner, MBE, on Absolute Radio. Yes.
Accepted with great humility.
Thank you.
As anticipated. Thank you for making this so easy.
Yes.
Can I say I've had 2 texts, one from my son that says it's called Smiggle, with Smiggle in block capitals. Didn't like me calling it Smiggles.
Fair
And
enough.
from Sandy Mason, my mother-in-law, Smiggle hyphen. Yes, we had one in Cheltenham at one time. You don't hear much Smiggle nostalgia, but there you have a bit.
I like at one time.
Yeah, how old is Smiggle?
Apparently,
Can you not talk about Sandy Mason like that? Don't call her Smiggle.
So what's that? Go on.
well, the outside world. I mean, Twitter X exploded.
Exploded.
X exploded.
Yeah.
It's an Australian chain, and it's real, says Bill Russell,
Yay.
which is very
Come, I can't believe
Peter
what
Pan.
kind of a lie would it be
Well,
to invent
I think we
Smiggle?
thought it was more of a mistake than a lie.
I see.
And then
It's
we had,
ageism, actually.
all right, Rebecca Hume. Yes, Smiggle is real. I'll vouch for you.
And it's lovely.
And Rebecca also continues, entering Smiggle with 2 young girls is like the 7th circle of hell. I'm so glad my local one closed. I'm afraid, but we do have, balancing that out, the majority of people seem to be huge Smiggle fans, like
Yes.
yourself. Ultra Magnus says, sorry, Pierre, I was just going to say, points out Smiggle because it's halfway between a smile and a giggle.
Oh.
That does make me hate them. It's an awful,
That
awful
shows you
thing
a
to
lovely
do.
light.
Yeah.
Smiggle.
With you, it's halfway between a smirk and a niggle.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Of contempt. That's my reaction. Although I looked at their website now, and collectible character goo is only £2. So that's a
Yeah.
very good deal on collectible character
Is
goo.
it?
I tell you.
Should we go there?
What about the
I'm
Octopen now?
Well, I'm just shocked to discover how much I've been overpaying for my collectible character goo.
Yeah.
Anyone bought a bento?
I don't know where you're getting bento boxes. I thought you meant with food in.
No, to take to school.
That's why I thought
I know
you'd lost
Smiggle.
your mind.
Smiggle is in the same family as Tiger or whatever it's called.
Yeah, well,
Do you know
I think it's a
Tiger?
bit cooler than Tiger.
I thought you
get
were saying.
you.
I thought you were saying.
Cooler than Tiger.
I thought you were saying you had found a stationery shop that sold bento boxes, as in the food.
No.
So I thought, what kind of mad-
It's a terrible misunderstanding.
What sort of mad Muji sushi shop combo?
No,
niche
so
chain
if your
have you
child
discovered?
I thought
wants
it
to
just sold
take a
pens.
Japanese-themed lunchbox, then they can whip out the bento.
Okay.
You
And
with me?
Smiggle, I notice, has a sort of slight Fraggle Rock font.
Yes.
It's a lovely, cutesy, warm place to be. And a fat little pen with 8 colours. I mean, let's not forget that. That's why. That was my moment in there. That was my moment, everybody. That was my. Or as that terrible Andrew Lloyd Webber Eurovision. My time, it's my time. Apparently not.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Ruth Jordan
Yes.
has been in touch, Pierre, hasn't she?
She has.
What does she say?
Well, she's on edge, waiting for your review of Frank's show, and adds in, how much of a git will Frank be if it includes notes?
I don't know what she means by that.
With what I would call the grimace emoji.
Oh.
Sort of awkward, teeth bared, like a frightened chimp grimace emoji.
Do you know,
Yeah.
I spend a great deal of time Googling emojis to see what they mean, because I get sent them all the time.
Yeah.
And I think and they'll send them with the confidence of these youths, the way they'll just slip the emoji on the end. And I end up taking a screenshot, enlarging it, and looking at the teeth, the structure of the emoji to see what does that expression mean.
So you do a sort of airport face scan.
I do. I go forensic. I take the emoji into the incident room.
See, I don't. I'm such. I hardly ever get an emoji. I don't get communications from the young. I'm one of the few.
glad to hear it.
I'm one of the few grey-haired celebrities. No, so I don't. So I don't. I only know the most basic of emojis.
Smiley face.
No, but the grimacy ones get confusing, Pierre.
Yes, context is key.
I get, thumbs up, that kind of emoji. I don't. I've never seen one that remorse, for example, expressed in an emoji.
Well, there's one which really confused me, which is sort of blushing eyes. I mean, it's
blushing eyes.
The eyes look to be blushing. There's a heart here. No, the eyes look to be welling up with emotion, and I couldn't work out.
The sort of big shiny eyes one.
Yes. What does that mean?
Like a sort of begging.
That's the hay fever emoji.
Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, it ceases to be. The idea is that it makes communication very quick and compact. So if it's sort of vague,
I think it's just for adding tone now.
What I'm saying is, should one get ambiguity from an emoji?
So
hold it. We've just had the fez has just gone up. We never got round. I'm glad.
Are you getting worried?
I mean, if you like it, I'll get embarrassed, and if you don't, I'll experience grief. So can I just tell you, when I came into work this morning, I saw a pub closed down and someone had spray painted on the wall, "He's gone to Norway." If only life could always be there. I feel like I know the whole story now, what's gone on there. Yeah. Great. Now, well done, that person.
The best of Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Oh, me taters and me fresh fried fish. You can have a little if you wish. You can have it on a plate or on a dish or in a little bit of paper. Yes, it's Cockney Week on
Musical Week on Absolute Radio.
What's your favourite vendor cry?
One I've missed since COVID is "Evening Standard."
Yes.
Do you still get that?
I haven't seen them.
Oh.
No, the one I used to be a man who goes, "Any stand?"
Yeah.
And it's Stanley got it down. I must have done it a long time, and it's steadily distilled it
to a sort of bird-like cry.
Yeah, exactly.
A sort of waterfowl. I once encountered a sort of operatic guy like that in Oxford Circus. Evening Standard, like he was really.
Is it like the Go Compare man?
Yeah.
I hope not. I hope he didn't have like some bloke who isn't him dressed up, who we don't really not interested in, who sat next to him and made remarks. They've really killed the Go Compare ads.
They've turned him into a celeb. I like the concept of them killing them. Like prior to that, what you think they were?
I thought they were pretty good when he used to just sing, and now I don't want to go backstage with the Go Compare man.
Are you suggesting they've sold out, Frank?
Whoever thought what these adverts need? We need a sort of making of element. Really?
I think when a company gets an advert that resonates, they're so astonished that they finally managed to get through to the public that they just go, right, this until the end of the world. We cannot afford to not have this.
Well, I wonder if they tried to get rid of him. If he tried to leave, and he said, "I'll have to be on there on myself. Is the only way."
Yeah.
So they consider real me.
Yeah.
Imaginary scenarios that they Go Compare.
No, but there was a bit when they first switched it. He said, like, I am actually a really opera singer, and they showed a picture of him singing at the Albert Hall. I thought that was a contractual thing.
I think that you see the same thing with the meerkat.
Well, look, that's a whole other thing.
Well,
Everyone wants a meerkat.
But they were the meerkat now. They've gone, he's got a friend who's a shark who's from Botswana.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, what they'll have is the meerkat will be with the meerkat, but the meerkat with no costume, saying, of course, I actually do hunt and live life in the wild.
Meerkat with a cigarette.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do eat beetles for real.
Yes,
just
I mean,
fake.
this is just, an acting
I always
thing.
think it should be played absolutely straight, love.
Oh dear! You know what? It was transfer deadline day yesterday, and I thought for the first time it finally struck me, and it's took years. They announced a transfer, and I actually said out loud, "How much?" Because when you stand back from it, there are average players going for like £15 million.
It is
I
the
know.
part of football I understand the least.
What, the transfer window?
No, the amount of money.
Oh, I know.
I don't understand how it can possibly be good value.
Where's it come from?
I don't
It
know.
should be
12,
taken
15.
from them by force and distributed to the poor. It's absolutely insane. Oh, yeah, we're buying that bloke. Oh, he's only £34 million. Just stand back from that figure for a second and think what it would do to your community.
You're saying there should be a sort of 1917 Winter Palace moment when it comes to...
Yeah, I think we should just remember what 34 million quid actually is. It's not monopoly. Someone's actually doing it.
I don't know where it comes from. You'll both have to explain to me.
Well, I don't.
Well, don't go knocking at our door.
We got a Chinese billionaire who doesn't have any money, apparently.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got a combine harvester.
Oh, I saw them listed somewhere. Where was I? I was somewhere like Abingdon, and they were listed on the Coming Soon.
The Wurzels.
Yeah.
Are they from Birmingham?
No, they're the most Bristol band that ever existed. Who are?
Sorry, I thought he was lost on me.
They sang about cider and
Did you just think
farm vehicles.
Did you just think regional life?
Yeah, the regions, capital T, capital R.
The best of Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Do you remember last week we were talking about characters not seen on screen, so referred to on screen but never seen?
Yes. I think we referred to Her Indoors was one of the ones.
Maris from Frasier.
Yes.
Well, that was your one.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
No, we didn't really know that, but we let it go. She Who Must Be Obeyed.
From
Rumpole.
Rumpole of the Bailey.
Although we were widely disagreed with on that.
Well,
Were we?
why?
She was seen doing washing up and chatting to him a few times.
Oh, okay. Well, I missed that episode.
Me lad.
Well, we've also had through some other examples. Graham Hill has been in touch. Dirty Gertie from Number 30.
Right. Which was Basil Brush, is that right?
Yes.
I got mixed up. I thought it was Larry Grayson. Larry Grayson used to refer to Slack Alice, who was a woman, and his friend Everard, if you remember.
Did he have a friend?
Well, yes.
Oh.
That's what we called them in the 70s. And that was Everard, yes.
I love the idea of they used to call it, or my aunt, who's, I think Twee would be a good way to describe her. And I remember her saying to my sister once when she was dating, and at the age where my aunt felt uncomfortable, she didn't know how to refer to their relationship. They were living together, and she said, "Is Ziggy still your best friend?"
Ah.
Best friend.
Oh, best friend.
I moved in with a woman, and my parents, being good Catholics, never acknowledged that it was happening at all. Refused to even refer to it. And then she said to me one day that my dad took her to one side and said, never let him leave the house without a clean handkerchief. And then that was when it was first acknowledged.
By a handkerchief. A sort of semaphore.
Yeah, exactly.
And in terms of other not on screen but referred to, Dermot has got in touch. Kath and Buzz. Unseen, but very, very important characters in the show.
That is a good point.
Well.
That is a very good point. And also Emile just came in, who did the show previous to us, and he said, now we're going to remember the name of this, someone from Chucklevision, Dan the Van.
Dan the Van.
From Chucklevision.
Dutch character.
Dan the Fan.
Dan the Van.
Yes, which I didn't. I don't know if I ever saw Chucklevision, but I had a very good friend who used to write for Chucklevision.
Some of my best friends did as well.
Well, you wouldn't. She was, sort of very cool,
What is
slightly goth
Chucklevision?
type.
What is it, Chucklevision?
The Chuckle Brothers. It was their show.
I
To
never
me, to
knew
you.
that.
What is Chuckle? Who is Gaza?
I don't. Oh, come on, that's hardly the same thing.
I think Chucklevision is part
Was
of
it?
British culture.
Is it?
I'm very aware of Chucklevision.
Was it on ITV? Oh, okay. No one knows what it was on.
What about when he was on?
BBC.
What was he on? Fans Only or whatever that thing is called.
Cameo.
OnlyFans.
Only
He wasn't on the Chuckle Brothers aren't on OnlyFans.
No, he was on one of those.
Frank, they haven't got an OnlyFans.
To me, to you, £5 a month.
If you want to find out more
Yeah.
from me to you,
Yeah,
and
they
I
say-
will be sending it directly from me to you. Don't worry about that.
Oh, I've dropped a big chandelier. I've got stuck in a ladder.
Yes, but now chlamydia from me to you to me.
No.
I think they changed their surname slightly as well.
Absolute Radio.
The best of Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Here's a funny thing, lady. I went into a. This is another Edinburgh reminiscence, even though it was 2 weeks ago, but I forgot to tell you last week. There's a big sweet shop that's called something like the Cavalcade of Candy or something like that. Might not be that.
Mr. Whizpop's Fabulous Treats.
Exactly.
That sort of thing.
And it's just sweets. And I went in there with my child and I said, smell them sweets. It does make you feel like I might get some pick and mix or something. And I then went in a couple of days later, but towards the end of the evening when there was less people, and I saw the guy.
Strange thing to do with your evening.
Yeah.
It's a sweet shop.
Yeah, it was about 8 o'clock, and somebody they said, "Can you turn the machine up a bit?" to one of the guys, and he went over and he turned this machine up, and he went like, and I realised it was the sweet smell. It was actually a machine pumping it out. And I'd fallen. I'd been drawn in by the lovely smell of sweets, and it was some synthetic.
Oh, they lured you in as well.
Synthetic, not like those sweets.
No, but at least
The
you couldn't
organic au naturel.
You can't eat the machine.
No, that's true.
I've got a T-shirt with that on.
It's a good band name.
Yeah.
Mr. Frank Skinner.
Yeah.
Whilst we're on the subject,
Are you
of-
going to call me Mr. Frank then, like it was the Basil Brush show?
like a loyal retainer.
Yeah.
Mr.
Oh, Mr.
Frank.
Well, in
Frank.
many ways.
By the way, Mr. Frank. Yeah. Go on, Miss Emily.
Whilst we're on the subject of sweet things,
Yeah.
I would like to send my gratitude to Anne from Tunnock's Tea Cakes.
I'm so happy there's still people called Anne.
Yes.
Yeah.
I met Anne with
Oh,
the
yeah.
producer on a delayed
With
train.
her producer or yours?
No, ours.
Okay.
On a train from Edinburgh. We were stuck on a train for about 10 hours.
Oh.
No bathroom breaks for Ray.
No,
Oh, what
Yeah.
does a dog do on a train for 10 hours?
That's classified. That's between me and my fellow passengers.
Okay.
But we met a charming lady, Frank, who worked for Tunnock's.
Tunnock's is the tea cake manufacturers. Scottish, I believe.
Yes,
In
she was
fact, I know they're
Glaswegian.
Scottish because I did a TV series for a Scottish company and they sent me a sort of Tunnock's gift basket,
Oh.
which was very
I
nice.
believe she worked for, it's a family business, Sir Archibald Boyd Tunnock. is what I believe his full name is.
Archie Tunnock, he was at school. Fantastic. Was he in the Beano?
Oh, he must have been. And she sent us, well, I mean, you've already got stuck into the bucket hats.
Yes,
right.
I can't wear. I'd love a bucket hat that fit me. I see the England cricket team in bucket hats, and they look so cool. But I was pointing out, I actually need, because my head is so big, I need a literal bucket, and it doesn't look so good. An actual bucket. So, although you get a chin strap, which you don't get with the bucket hat.
That's true. In high winds, you'd be safer.
And we've also
But
got...
they are lovely.
Do you know what I liked is when the trolley came round, she saw the caramel wafers, the Timeless caramel wafers, and Anne went, oh, there they are.
Oh, lovely.
Company woman.
Yeah.
There they were, because they're not here this morning. Because
Can we say we're not sponsored by tonics?
No.
It's just an act of human
they've not
kindness.
paid us anything.
No, well, they've given us free tonics. They did give
And
us
the
some
producer-
particularly delicious milk chocolate ones.
And then what happened to those, Frank?
Well, the producer decided she was having them for herself, even though you'd done all the talking on the train. You'd made peace. I think you were the one who provided the glass beads by way of trade. And then the producer took the milk chocolate, which, as we all know, is better than dark chocolate.
I disagree.
Do you?
I do.
I'll tell you a little story after this break, which will blow your mind. But she actually stole them. We never saw them.
Well, I had to find it out as well. I took a punt, didn't I, Frank?
Great interrogation.
It was very Columbo.
How did I do the interrogation? It was good.
You said, it's odd we don't have any milk chocolate ones. It's almost like, I bet they're in the producer's cupboard, at which point the producer went red.
Yeah. You got out your cigar. My wife's a big fan of tonics tea.
Yeah, exactly.
If I could just get a sample.
Oh, just one more thing. Did you have any milk chocolate tonics?
Seems strange that the most common type would not be in
Just one thing nagging at me. It's just dark chocolate. Is that all they do, tonics?
The best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were discussing magic tricks. And
We were talking.
Don't tell people
about
It's not very good for the brand.
no,
Discussing magic.
no. But you did, Frank, a very good impression of that moment where someone presents whatever it is, the kind of obviously plastic
dove
flowers.
or a car. Or a car.
Yeah, and Emily,
The doves are real.
The
Jen.
doves are real.
Yeah.
We can say that. Emily, you made the noise that people make when that sort of happens. Hey, that's hey. And I did think, if you're doing actual magic, the last thing you want gasps, don't you?
Yeah,
you don't
you
want
do.
that sort of, hey, there it is.
I think I am.
Awful.
There aren't many things I think I'm the best at, but I'm one of the best magic audiences you could have. I really do go, coming from behind the ear. I get so excited by certainly close-up magic,
Do
particularly.
you like magic, Frank?
Oh yeah, I like watching
I
it.
didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why do you think I'm wearing a brocade waistcoat? No, not really. Don't worry, I'm not. Don't switch off. Yes. Hey, listen, speaking of magic, sort of ish, I visited my sister-in-law, etc., and her family at a posh hotel this week that they were staying at. Lovely it was, and we went for dinner there. And my son said, "Can I bring the projector I bought from Lidl?" I said, "Oh, sure." So,
How large was the projector?
it's from Lidl.
I didn't know Little
So-
did project.
Sorry, that doesn't answer my question.
Well, it's a Lidl projector. So anyway,
God.
so yes, you didn't know Lidl did projectors.
No,
Well-
did Tesco do sort of light displays or something? This is bizarre to me.
I think Lidl do things I was
Couldn't
in
dream
Lidl.
of.
Is it online, Lidl?
No, it's
Oh.
well, it might be, but it exists as a shop.
I've never been in
It's
one.
also in our realm.
Okay.
They have a
physical
sort of what looks like a giant pick and mix section, but in one section there'll be like Wellington boots,
Yeah.
and then in another one like gilet, canvas gilet.
Yeah.
And there was one, And it had about 5 axes in it. Yeah. Big, and I mean big, the sort of axes you could take a building down with.
What do you display an axe next to? It's a hard choice, isn't it?
I can't remember what was in the next section.
Yeah, you've got to be careful.
Yeah, I think it was those milk teeth. And then cola bottles in the one next to them.
Of course, you buy them by weight, so if you do get an axe, it will be a...
Yeah. You're walking around with an axe in one of those little pink stripy bags.
Offering it round. Axe? No, thanks, no.
Anyway...
Stick in my teeth.
So we got to the place, and it's a lovely hotel. I won't name it because... I can't remember what it's called. And
You
also...
had to pay.
So, did I have to pay?
Yeah. I said you
well.
won't name it because we have to pay.
No. Anyway, so he got these little... It's only like a small projector. It's not like, the owner of the guy who runs the theme park in Scooby-Doo. It's not that level. Not that level of projection equipment.
No.
Where he can make people actually carry things that he's projecting.
Somehow, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how he does that. So we were sitting having the posh meal, and Boz just went and plugged the projector in the socket and just started projecting images on the ceiling.
What were the images?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you after this. I'll just give you one little brief moment in time. At one point, there was a French man came over to talk to us about wine, and there was like an image of Santa Claus just spinning round above his head on the ceiling.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I was coming home from the gig that didn't happen.
Yes.
Oh, the Green Day.
And a guy, as I was getting off, said, "Excuse me, but I heard you saying that you were at a jig that had been cancelled tonight." And I thought,
Mr. Fezziwig?
and I thought, yes, it was the big event of the night until you said jig. And now that's what's going to live with me.
A jig?
Yeah.
But now...
Oh, I love him. He's like something out of a restoration comedy or something.
Did he misunderstand? Was he wearing breeches and long knee stockings?
Does he think it's called jig?
Yeah, well, listen, many, many years ago, I was in a band and we were practicing at a local church hall, and we were very, very loud, and the police were sent for by local neighbours.
Right.
What was the band called again, Frank?
That particular band was, I think it was called Old English, after the cider, which I just started drinking. I was 15. And the policeman arrived, and he obviously thought, I'll do a bit of community policing. And he said, "So have you done any jigs yet?" So it is. There is an underground
So there's an underground. One policeman in 1902.
And an old guy, open brackets, my age, on the bus last night.
So there's a sort of Illuminati of people who say jig.
I say jig, yeah.
But
It's a code, isn't it?
Yeah, but is there still a chance that maybe he thought
That I'd been to a jig.
that he thought you were dancing around a big wooden barrel of ale and dipping
Well, he
your
said
hands
to
in?
me, I said, yeah, it was Green Day, and he just went, Like, don't know who that is.
Frank, he said jig. You're surprised he doesn't know
Well, why
who
did
Green
he
Day
even
are.
ask?
He says jig.
Why did he? If he was from the past, why was he even asking?
He wanted you to say, well, did you do any reels? Did they play Spanish ladies? Any naval songs?
I mean, the guy said jig. I don't even think he's up to Glimpse of Stocking yet. No. Green Day.
Maybe not. But it did. It cheered me up.
The best of Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Guess what I did yesterday? You can't. It involved
Don't call me that.
King's Cross Station.
Yeah, what happened?
Come on, well,
Yeah.
what's that famous for? Molly knows. Molly's the assistant today.
Is it something that will...
Just shout it out, Molly.
It was the regular annual Hogwarts back to school day.
Yeah, it was back to Hogwarts Day.
What?
So Harry Potter fans, and I spoke to people who'd travelled from certainly all over the country. There might have been people who'd come further than that.
Oh, yeah.
And you all pile into King's Cross, standing around platform 9 3/4. Yeah. And there were some people there from The Cursed Child, you know, the play in the West End. I met the Ron from it, called Tom Aldridge.
The Ron.
The Ron.
The wrestler.
Tom Aldridge, who I was delighted to see, is a ginger. They don't go ginger face.
No.
In that play. And
Well, what is it then? Sorry, it's a party at a station.
well, what happens on September the 1st? It is a party at the station.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've really filleted the idea there.
Yeah.
Not remotely intentionally. Come on, Frank. I want to know about the station
Well,
party.
the crux of it, when it first started, it was a bunch of Harry Potter fans getting together. And I don't think I can honestly call myself Harry. I like Harry Potter, but I'm not. But my son is absolutely mad about it, so I went along with him. It is very fine.
I like anything to do with Jack, your brother-in-law.
Well, yeah,
And his association made me like it.
Yes, he wrote the stage play, my brother-in-law. But anyway, they what used to be a bunch of fans got together because at 11 o'clock on September the 1st is when Harry Potter gets on the train to Hogwarts. It's actually on the board you get at King's Cross.
Oh.
So it goes up 11 o'clock, Hogsmeade.
Oh, right.
And,
Delayed on strike.
And the voice says the Hogwarts Express is leaving from platform 9 3/4 and all that. And then there's an enormous... Everyone holds their wands in the air. And then there's a massive cheer.
Don't say that.
there a bunch
It's a nice Harry Potter thing. You're making it awful.
No, it was...
a bunch of guys from the RMT shouting scab at the wizarding train staff.
So hang on, is there not a train?
I think it was a strike day as well.
yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Should we have even been there?
Does the train not exist then?
No, well, that's a long story, but it certainly wasn't at platform 9 3/4.
Oh, they never are.
Well, there is a platform
Yeah.
or a train. It's a bit like the receptionist at that place I went to. It's all in the main. They announced the 11 o'clock
Oh, this is
train
at the train
Hogsmeade.
party.
Yeah, and there was a massive cheer. Wands were waved. And then I went off to the toilet and I got hopelessly lost. I was missing for 15 minutes.
Now, for those people listening at home who don't quite know the layout of King's Cross, I can vouch for the fact that the bit where they've sort of super glued half a trolley into the wall, that is platform 9 3/4, is a direct line of sight from the entrance to the loo.
No, but I couldn't go to those ones. It was full of wizards and they take ages. You know.
Whizzing wizards.
Is that what they call
So you know about that time.
That's full of warlocks.
So I had to go to the one in the international station, whatever it's called.
International toilet.
Yeah. Anyway, I was missing for 15 minutes. My family were phoning me. I was describing things, and they were saying, "I've never seen that. I don't know where that is."
You're saying, I'm near a boulangerie. It's bienvenue au Bruxelles.
I've just seen a gendarme.
In case you're new to the show, I get lost a lot. Don't worry, it's not my age. I've been getting lost since I was a child.
It is getting worse, though, Frank.
But honestly, 15 minutes describing. I can see I'm saying a big sign saying Camden Council, and Kat saying, "I don't know that." I said, "Well, I don't know. I've got to tell you them before you." But they were when I returned.
Did she say to you, if I'd have heard, said, "You're dealing feeling the wrong way. You
Boss said
deserve
to me, it was fine. Me and Elliot just been going up and down the escalators having fun.
15 minutes, Frank.
I know, it was distressing. It's like being Martin Guerre. Do you remember that? When he goes missing from the village and then comes back. Is it the same bloke? We'll never know.
The best of Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
We was talking eggs post Easter. Did you see, by the way, that Subway did a Cadbury's cream egg melt?
Oh, no.
In which you got what are those long wooden bread things called?
Baguette.
Yeah, like a baguette. The things that their sausages normally come on.
Do you say baguette?
Wooden?
I'd say a cob. A nice cob.
Wooden?
Not wooden. Did I say wooden?
Yeah.
Then I was mistaken.
Thinking of clogs.
I'm thinking
He's got clogs on the
bread,
mind.
long bread things.
Do you think he goes into Subway and says, "Can I have half a clog, please, my good man?"
Cheese and toasted
I
clog.
haven't done it. It's a fast food area I haven't really discovered, Subway.
No, me neither.
Anyway, they did a Cadbury's cream egg melt, which was one of those bread long rolls
Yeah.
with like a couple of melted Cadbury's cream eggs.
Straight to jail.
Available with, for one day only, Good Friday. The day of fast and prayer.
It's a bit disrespectful. Frank.
Oh, I couldn't believe you. I quite fancy trying one as
I
well.
don't like melt.
No? What
tell
about a
you
tuna? You okay with a tuna?
No, I tell you why. Because it feels like it's an Americanism
Mm.
that people have just assumed we should automatically accept. I didn't get asked about this. It was toasty for many years, very cosy, very
Yeah,
British. It was the
toasty's lovely.
toasty.
Yeah.
Do you want to melt? No,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, I draw the line at people starting to use grilled cheese instead of toasty.
I mean, at the risk of sounding a bit Faragian,
Yeah.
I just think toasty was nice because there were no pretensions. Melt sounds a bit ambitious.
Okay.
Also,
Okay.
the toasty comes with compression and one of those great irons.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yes.
a grilled cheese could, who knows, it could just be on flat on a roasting tray.
And melt has now been used by the Love Islanders, of course, as part
it?
of their language, yeah.
What?
Yes.
You
what
absolute melt.
Which means what?
A bad man.
A bad
I don't
man,
know.
Frank.
A stupid idiot.
Negative setting on melt.
I know.
Bad man was a good way to
A bad
describe
man.
it, Pierre.
Do you think it comes from the witch in The Wizard of Oz? I'm melting! Do you think it's that's where the evil thing comes
Where
from?
does melt come from for the bad men?
No, you're
Or
asking the
women?
wrong guy.
Does melt have a suggestion of, just in case you want to use it, Frank?
Is it like meltdown? Someone with a temper?
No,
I
it's
think
got a
it's being
suggestion
sort of lame and-
you're a bit of a foolish character.
Silly,
okay.
silly Billy.
Hold it, let me get this right. There are people on Love Island who are being condemned for being fools.
Yes, if you can
You
believe
absolute melt.
it. Yeah.
Is there a one-eyed man in this kingdom of the blind?
So, Frank, give me
People are condemned for being fools on Love Island.
Yeah, it's they've got an enormous amount of planks and an enormous amount of eyes on Love Island.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they'd say,
It's a ship of fools, isn't it?
yeah.
I think that's their tagline, isn't it, for the new series?
How would you use it?
Your favourite ship of fools is back next week.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't know automatically what programme that was going to be. You might narrow it down to about 100
Yeah.
possible series. Oh, Love Island. Loathe Island.
The best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So anyway, they had the top 25 chat-up
Oh,
lines.
yeah, go on then, hit me.
So,
Baby.
number 19, for example, was, do you know what my shirt is made of?
Oh, yeah.
Marriage material. So there are 6 that are worse than that.
Food for thought.
In their opinion. I mean, can you imagine? It's unbelievable.
I find it's usually nylon anyway.
Do you know what my shirt is made of? Marriage. But what do you mean? Why are you telling me this?
Well, I'll marry the shirt then.
But it's not angled at all to anything. It's just words. It's like an avant-garde chat-up line.
Do you know
But
what
you
my
just
shirt
answer.
is
I
made
would
of?
just say, well, man-made fibres, I presume.
Well, that's the other thing as well. Is the risk is that people won't wait. Like they say things like, there's one about coffee, about latte. Is your name Coffee? Because I like you a latte, they say.
Oh.
But I think the trouble is with that is you'll say to someone, is your name Coffee? And they'll go, no.
No.
Why do you ask that? And you'll never get to your sensational punchline.
Is your name Coffee? No. Now go away.
There was one I liked, okay?
Okay.
And I would agree with you on all of them. However, I think it might have been number 3. Are you a parking ticket? Because you've got fine written all over you. Now, I'll tell you why I can work with that. Hear me out. At least they've bothered to fashion a setup and
Right.
some sort of payoff. And it sort of makes a strange sense. Plus, it allows you to leave with dignity because you're just making a statement. You're just being complimentary, aren't
There's
you?
no follow-up question. Yeah.
But still, they could still jump in on, are you a parking ticket? So, are you a parking ticket? Because if I get this over quickly, it'll be cheaper.
Are you a parking ticket? Because I can sense this will end in a terrible dispute.
I mean, I don't know. You, as a woman, you're okay with these kind of obviously written lines from people?
Yes. Because at least they're bothering these types. It's better than just getting the emoji and how you do it.
If I was a woman, I think if somebody said, is your name Coffee? I say, no, my name is Sue because I take legal action against sexual predators.
Also, if they said, is your name Coffee? I mean...
Also,
what if you
Sue
sent that
is
to
a real name as well.
Yeah.
It has that advantage.
And if you sent that to Kofi Annan, it would be a very short exchange.
Yeah, exactly.
They would-
Name Coffee, yes.
Your point.
And you can't be dropping this in the bar at the UN in a certain era.
Is your name Coffee? Yes.
Yes. What do you want?
I just sit there and mess. It was a messy meeting that generated a lot of these. Like, is your name Google? Because you're what I've been searching for.
Do you like
But
that?
you don't search for Google. You search with Google.
No, you'd have to say, is your name Google? Because now I'd like you to help me find more people to say this too. In
And
a kind of
actually-
infinite fractal.
You're
Of course,
right, Frank.
if you approach a slightly a more senior lady like Emily, you might say, "Is your name Ask Jeeves?" Because you're what I've been searching for.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So yeah, Dave Berry let it slip. Because I was bragging about the fact that I get 2 songs of my own choice every hour, and he says, "Oh, I don't get to choose any." And I thought, "Ha Dave Perry." I did point out, to be fair, and he is the loveliest of blokes,
Oh,
but
he's
he is a proper radio. 5 mornings a week, and I'm like the Victorian gentleman amateur who comes in on a Saturday morning, 3 hours. But anyway, if there's a song on his playlist he doesn't like, he can have it removed.
Is that right? And has he exerted
Well,
his...
I can't tell you what they were. I'll tell you
No,
what they.
but has he done it?
He has done it.
Oh, Barry, I need to know.
Is
Yeah.
there a sort of maximum number he can remove?
Well, I don't know.
Could he just get it all down to one song? And
Just
and
play.
here it comes again.
No, you can't,
The
because the
only
no
song.
repeat guarantee, of course,
yeah.
is there?
Of course,
That
something
holds him back.
ridiculous.
But it didn't. And they announced a new station called Absolute Now, which is just going to play new music, no older than a year old.
Oh wow!
That was a lie. So, sorry, I made that up. I don't know why. I gained nothing from it.
Frank, it's very odd that you just lied for no reason.
No, such a nice lie.
I never
You never
lie.
lie.
I thought that'd be great if they'd done that. I'd really have respected.
No, but Frank, you can't just tell lies.
Yeah.
You're one of the most honest people I've ever met in my entire life.
But 98% of the blokes listening to this in Dunlop Green Flash trainers and a T-shirt, I say, well, I won't be listening to that.
Yeah.
And how much longer will this hangover last? So, absolute now.
I thought
It's not a bad idea, is it?
I think maybe you're doing that thing that sort of happened in where like a sort of a spokesman for the king who can't speak for himself just says something they hope that he does, and it's too embarrassing to go back on it, so they go, yes, we will be attending.
Yes, sire.
yes.
Well, I think it speaks very well of you that because you're such a thoroughly honest person, I didn't doubt that for a minute.
No, but I would have been found out. I think you'll find.
It would have been quite an escapade for you to somehow back this up.
Well, I quoted a poem in an interview with a woman from, I think, The Telegraph, and she said you should do a poetry podcast. And the headline was something like, I'm doing a poetry podcast, Skinner. And then I got contacted and saying, "Oh, come and do it with us," by our owners, Bauer, and then it happened. So that happened not on the strength of a lie, but of an error, an exaggeration. So these, who knows? There might be an absolute. I could be working on Absolute now this time next year. I know I'd be more at home on Absolute then.
Yeah,
but
Absolute Radio.
The best of Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Did I tell you about our KFC night?
No.
It was I went round because they've recently moved, so we went round. We're going to do it once a month.
okay.
Me and my brother-in-law and our two boys, and we went. We got a.
You're going to do what? Sorry, once a month. Get to eat KFC.
We ate KFC and watched over 40 KFC adverts on YouTube. We saw 9 different actors playing the Colonel and one vintage shot of the Colonel, the actual Colonel, walking through a park giving children chicken.
Why did you watch the videos?
Well, it just seemed
appropriate.
So when you're eating things,
it was an organic evening.
Do you always theme your media around whatever dish you're eating?
Not normally, but it did work well. We found ourselves. The trouble is, you'd get like one campaign, and then there's one campaign, and you'd get like 8 examples of adverts on that campaign, like people saying, finishing a KFC and saying, "Oh my God, I ate the bones," and then another advert of someone saying, "Hey, did you eat the bones?" And it was like they'd brought out a fillet. And people were looking for the bones, and of course there never was bones.
I can't stress enough how much I thought going in that this was initially a joke, that you watched a load of KFC.
No.
KFC.
No,
I believe you now.
We watched over 40, and then my son
What
said,
about when he watches those Dolmio ads?
my son had to then, he said, then we're going to, let's make our own KFC. And he had us playing parts. I was the Colonel with white blue tack on my chin, saying stuff like, "Hi, I'm the Colonel." All that stuff. It was a hell of an evening.
Absolute Radio.
The best of Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Sue Barker, if you're listening, go easy on the champagne this early in the morning. I'm assuming she's celebrating the demise of A Question of Sport. They were nothing without me. All right, Sue, that's your 4th glass. They don't tell me what to do. The home life of Sue Barker. There. So the service here is terrible. That's what she used to say at Wimbledon, apparently.
Oh, my God.
She was rated 2 in the world at one point, Sue Barker. She told me she had a beach house in Malibu when she was 17 or something like that.
What?
Can I?
Yeah.
Oh, I quite like Malibu.
I think it was Malibu. It was somewhere where a beach house should be.
Los Angeles.
Well, did she watch Star Wars?
Oh, is Malibu wrong?
Well, you initially said Malibu
Yeah.
as opposed to Malibu.
Okay, it should be on the Mal, should it?
If you're
But what about the old Black Lace song? Malibu, boo, boo.
I think that's just an artistic license.
Okay, fair enough. I'd love an artistic license. Are they still 7 and 6? Jenny Foot, our assistant producer, has got an artistic licence because
Yeah.
we just handed out the Christmas cards and we were all disgraced. Well, I felt okay because mine are all religious themed,
Well,
which
you get
raises me above everyone. But she hand painted our cards this morning. I think we should. I think it would be nice to put at least mine, if not everyone's, on social media.
Yeah.
My Robin. It's the bird on the card. It's not some terrible slang term I use.
No.
My Robin is holding something very exciting. A sentence which, if used as a trailer, which
get
will
us into
become
all
a
sorts
break.
of issues.
This will break the internet. Now, who wants to do that? Some people rely on that for company. Anyway, I tell you what, I've had some fun this week in sort of television guest appearance mode.
Yes, you've been putting it about.
I have, yeah. I'm trying to help Pierre. He's supporting me at the Gielgud.
It's true.
And, I want people to turn up because I think that their ego is so fragile at this stage of their careers. So, yes, we are doing the Gielgud Theatre in London in the first 2 weeks of February. Anyway, I've been plugging that. Now, one of my favourite shows to do in the whole of television is Sunday Brunch.
You love Sunday brunch?
I do. It's like a lovely gathering. You eat food, you meet nice, interesting people, and it's just a pleasant experience. This week, I got told off by Tim Lovejoy.
What did you do?
I
For
like
basically
Lovejoy.
deconstructing the show.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What
Did
did
he feel that you were pulling the curtain back on the sort of magical inner
He
workings
said,
of Sunday
well, he
brunch?
actually put it, he said, stop being so negative, Frank. Which,
Oh,
I thought it was, he started off, he introduced,
Sorry, I'm rocking currently.
he introduced Archie. I'm frightened to say his name now because you'll see why in a minute. Archie, the actor
Yes,
from
I know.
Saltburn.
oh right, yeah.
And he said, and Archie, and then he said to him, how do you pronounce your surname? I said, no, this is something I would have checked before. But obviously, as in a light-hearted way.
Frank, this is something I would have checked before.
But then,
In a light-hearted
maybe I didn't
way.
say that. Maybe I said, did you consider checking this before?
Well, that's infinitely preferable.
Exactly. And then I brought up Find the Banana, which was which was a thing that they tried once when I was on. And they had a banana on set, and somebody had to, if you saw it, you had to say, I've seen the banana, and say where it is, and I think you want a key ring or something. So he said, we got an exciting thing. I said, you're not bringing back Find the Banana. There was a sense of, look, just leave us alone, Frank, you bully.
I can't imagine why.
And the frustrating thing is when you've done a show 10 times, you get a golden Sunday brunch mug. I've got a silver one for 5 times, but I've only done it 7 times. I don't think I'm going to be asked back now.
What did Tim Lovejoy say then? He just said, please stop being so negative.
Yeah.
Did he say, I beseech you?
On air, though, he said it.
Oh, my
I mean, I basically got told off. So I'll never get me golden. I don't know. I mean, I'm 66. Have I got another 3 pluggable projects in me? Oh, God.
The best of Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.